Hey everyone, and welcome to Love Hackers. I'm Alex Carter, your dating expert, and I'm here with the amazing Sophie Tanaka.
Hi, everyone.
Today we're diving into a topic that's sparked a lot of curiosity. Cougar dating apps.
Yeah. And whether you're thinking of exploring this yourself or just, fascinated by the concept, we're going to break it all down for you.
So let's start with the basics. What exactly is a cougar in the dating world these days?
Yeah.
Because, the image that might pop into your head might not be the reality.
Right. It's definitely not about, a predatory older woman on the prowl. It's more about a confident and mature woman who is attracted to younger partners.
Exactly. And on the other side of that, tons of younger men are drawn to the experience and stability that a lot of older women bring to the table.
And, it makes sense because everyone has unique things to offer. And age is just one piece of the puzzle when it comes to, building a connection.
Absolutely, and that's where these apps come in. Just
Yeah.
like any other dating preference, there are apps designed to connect people with those shared interests.
Exactly. It's all about efficiency, especially in the world of online dating.
Now, there are a few big names in this category. Let's start with Adult Friend Finder, or AFF.
AFF, it's been around forever, it seems like.
It has, with over 60 million active members.
That's a lot of people, and it really shows they've built a reputation, especially for people looking for casual hookups and no-strings-attached encounters.
Now, AFF isn't specifically a cougar dating app, but it is incredibly popular with women in their late 30s to mid-50s.
And they have a free trial, so you can at least, get a feel for the platform before committing.
True, but be warned, the design is a little, well,
Vintage.
exactly.
But hey, if it ain't broke right.
Maybe. Okay, so on the other end of the spectrum, we have eHarmony, find your perfect match.
eHarmony is known for its long-term relationships, but it's kind of a hidden gem for cougar cub pairings.
A lot of people don't realize that.
Mhm.
Did you know that 75% of online marriages started on eHarmony?
That's a pretty impressive stat, and over 70% of their users find a match within a year.
That's because they have a really detailed sign-up process and this compatibility matching system that digs deep into your values, interest, lifestyle, everything.
It takes a little more effort, but that's why it's so effective.
So if you're looking for something lasting, eHarmony's worth trying, even if it's not specifically a cougar dating app.
Right.
So for something that falls somewhere in between AFF and eHarmony, there's Passion.
Passion is interesting because it's known for both casual encounters and long-term relationships.
And they've got over 30 million members.
They do, and they also offer a free trial.
So if you're, open to different types of connections, Passion is worth checking out.
Definitely. Now, for an app, that might surprise you. Tinder. I know, right? But hear me out. So it's known for a younger demographic, but it really is a powerhouse when it comes to those, visual connections.
It's all about the pictures.
It is, and first impressions are everything on Tinder.
That being said, Tinder has a reputation for being more, hookup oriented.
Yeah, so manage your expectations if you're looking for something serious.
But if you're confident and have great photos and are, open to maybe a casual connection with an older woman, Tinder might surprise you.
For sure.
Okay, let's move on to platforms designed specifically for cougar dating, starting with Cougar Life.
Cougar Life is relatively new, but it's gaining traction quickly.
Over 7 million users.
That's a lot for a newer app.
Their focus is really just connecting cougars and cubs, so it's a very streamlined experience.
However, it is still smaller than AFF and eHarmony, so your pool of potential matches might be a little limited depending on where you are.
Location, location, location.
Right. And lastly, we have older women dating, which has been around since 2004.
Now we're a little bit cautious about recommending this one.
It has gone through some rebranding and now leans more towards sugar mama arrangements, which might not be what everyone is looking for.
And there have been some concerns about its legitimacy compared to the more established platforms.
Plus, the design feels a bit dated, like it's stuck in the early 2000s.
So while you can check it out, we suggest exploring other options on the list first for a better overall experience.
Okay, so now that we've covered the pop platforms, let's dive into some expert advice for navigating the world of cougar dating.
This is where it gets interesting.
We have some great advice from some top dating coaches who really know this dynamic.
Let's hear it.
First up is David Wigand. He's a dating coach, and he says, and I quote, "Older women have an extremely sensitive BS detector, so be 100% honest all the time."
He's not wrong. Older women have more life experience and can often spot insincerity.
So don't play games or pretend to be someone you're not.
Next up is Joshua Harrington, author and dating expert. who emphasizes open-mindedness and, being willing to try new things.
This makes sense because you're connecting with someone who has different life experiences, different interests.
Be open to trying new things and stepping outside of your comfort zone.
And another tip from Harrington, avoid using the term cougar.
Good point. Just focus on building a genuine connection based on respect and shared interest.
And finally, we have Mertkin Yeltsin, another dating expert who stresses the importance of maturity.
He says, when you are in a relationship with a cougar woman, you need to act like an adult.
It's all about leaving those games behind.
Older women are looking for partners who are emotionally intelligent and self-aware.
Exactly.
Before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, let's talk about safety, which is super important with online dating.
Absolutely. There's this great website that offers tons of information on online dating safety, and they really stress taking precautions when, connecting online.
It's all about being proactive and prioritizing safety.
They have articles about protecting your personal information and being aware of red flags, to setting boundaries and taking your time before meeting in person.
All great advice.
And on that note, we'll wrap up part 1 of our deep dives into cougar dating apps.
Join us in part 2, where we'll continue exploring this world.
See you then.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Welcome back to Love Hackers. We're diving back into the world of cougar dating apps.
In part 1, we talked about what it means to be a cougar and highlighted some of the top apps out there.
We also got some great advice from those dating experts, David Wiggin, Joshua Harrington, and Mertkin Yeltsin.
Honesty, open-mindedness, and maturity, all super important.
Yeah, but let's get more practical. What are some things younger men should keep in mind when using these apps?
Well, first, remember these women have a lot of life experience. They've navigated careers and relationships, maybe even raised families.
So they're not looking for someone to complete them,
Exactly. So ditch the insecurity.
Confidence is attractive no matter your age.
And don't even try to play games, because older women can see right through that.
Be genuine and respectful and try to learn from their experiences.
And don't assume you know what she's looking for just because of her age.
Right. Some women might be open to casual dating while others are looking for something more serious.
Communication is key.
Always.
Be upfront about your intentions and what you're hoping for.
Now, let's talk about what older women should consider when using these apps.
Okay, ladies, it's your turn. Any advice?
Know your worth. You have so much to offer. Experience, wisdom, stability.
Don't settle for anything less than respect.
And don't be afraid to embrace your age and what you want.
Society tries to tell women what they should want, but, break those rules.
Own your choices and your confidence.
When choosing an app, think about your goals. If you want something casual, maybe try AFF or Tinder. But if you want something more serious, try eHarmony or Passion.
And don't be afraid to experiment and see what works for you.
Now back to safety for a minute.
Always important.
That website we mentioned before has some great tips, like using a pseudonym for your profile at first and being careful about what information you share.
And watch out for profiles with no bio or just one photo. Those can be red flags.
If you decide to meet up, always choose a public place and let someone know where you're going.
Most importantly, trust your gut. If something feels off, don't be afraid to leave or block the person.
Okay, so let's talk about the societal implications of this whole cougar dating trend.
It's interesting, right? Because as it becomes more accepted, it really challenges traditional relationship norms.
For example, how we perceive older women dating younger men versus older men dating younger women.
Huge double standard there.
As cougar dating becomes more normalized, it could really change how we view aging and relationships in general.
It shows people that they can break free from societal expectations.
So what are some specific societal implications we're seeing?
Well, one is the power dynamic in relationships. Traditionally, men have held more power, but in cougar cub relationships, the woman is often the more established partner.
That could really shift things.
It also challenges traditional family structures, with blended families and maybe more acceptance of diverse family models. And we can't forget the impact on how we view aging and sexuality. Older women are often portrayed as undesirable, but cougar dating challenges that.
Shows that women can be attractive and vibrant at any age.
And that can be really empowering.
It's about owning your sexuality.
There's also the economic impact. As older women gain financial independence, they could become a big force in the dating app market.
Definitely.
But it's still early. We don't know exactly how all of this will play out.
But it's a fascinating trend to watch.
It shows that relationships and societal norms are always changing.
And that can lead to more diversity and inclusivity in how we love and connect.
Well said. We're going to wrap up part 2 here. Join us for part 3, where we'll look at some real-life examples of cougar cub relationships and talk about the future of this trend.
Welcome back to Love Hackers. We're wrapping up our deep dive into cougar dating apps, a world that's more diverse and dynamic than you might think.
We've covered a lot of ground, defining what it means to be a cougar these days, the top apps, expert advice, even societal implications.
It's been fascinating. But let's shift gears and explore some real-life examples of successful cougar cub relationships.
Because at the end of the day, it's about those connections, the happiness people find, regardless of age.
Exactly. Love doesn't have an expiration date.
Right, love knows no age. And, we all know about celebrity couples like Hugh Jackman and Deborah Lee Furness. They've been married for over 25 years.
And Priyanka Chopra and Nick Jonas, they seem so happy together.
These high-profile couples, they help to normalize age gap relationships.
But it's important to remember that, successful cougar cub relationships exist outside of Hollywood, too.
Of course, everyday couples are finding love and happiness, proving that it's not about fame, it's about compatibility.
And while we can't share specific stories for privacy reasons, we've heard so many inspiring stories from couples who found love through these apps.
We've heard from men who appreciate the wisdom and stability of older women.
And women who feel empowered and, appreciated for who they are.
These stories remind us that, age is just one part of finding a connection.
So as we wrap up, let's look ahead at the future of cougar dating.
Where do you see this trend heading?
I think it's here to stay. It's not just a trend. It reflects how society is changing.
I agree. And as technology keeps advancing, I think we'll see even more apps that cater to this.
And maybe we'll even see a shift in the language we use, moving away from labels like cougar.
It's an exciting time for dating, and cougar dating is, leading the way. It makes us rethink what we know about age and relationships.
And isn't that what it's all about? Finding love and happiness no matter your age.
Absolutely. Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the world of cougar dating apps.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Alex Carter.
And I'm Sophie Tanaka.
You've been listening to Love Hackers. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a comment and share this episode with anyone who might be interested. And as always, be safe and respectful out there.